Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and today I'm really excited to bring you another store visit. This is the last of the store visits from my recent trip vacation down to Christmas City, USA, down in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I've already showed you a bunch of comic stores in Pennsylvania. But on the way home, we passed through New York because we're on I-84, and we stopped in Port Jervis, which is right across the river, across the border from Matamoros, Pennsylvania. And we went to Haven of Heroes, great comics book store down there in Port Jervis. So I want to tell you all about that. I got some really cool stuff that you're going to dig. I'll just put that up on the map. I've already described where it is, but I'm going to have it up on the map here. Didn't get any video on the inside. The owner was super nice, very helpful, really cool guy. Probably would have let me record inside, but we were kind of in a hurry because the store closes at 8, so it's got some nice long hours. But by the time we got to the store about 7:35. But we still had had another 4 hours drive to get home after we left the store. Didn't get home till after midnight. So we were kind of like in a hurry to check the store out, but also then we had to get on the road. So didn't get any video on the inside, but it's a great old school comic book shop, the kind that I like. Great big wall, tons of wall books, lots of great stuff, Silver Age, superhero stuff mostly, but then some other stuff. Tons of back issues, a lot of 50-cent bins and dollar bins, and I got some great stuff out of there. If I had any disappointment, it was simply that the owner said that he was putting together a box with all of his romance comics, and he couldn't find it. He didn't know where it was. So, that's the main thing I'm looking for. And I got some great deals on the stuff I did get, so I was like, oh man, he had just been able to find those romance books. But some really great stuff. So let's just jump right into it. Let me show you the stuff I got out of the 50-cent bins. First one here, it's funny because I mentioned a few months ago for Thanksgiving, just a couple months ago when I'm recording this, for Thanksgiving we went down to Virginia and I found some issues of the hardcore right-wing extremist Christian pop propaganda comic Crusaders from the infamous Jack Chick. I'd never seen them before anywhere. For whatever reason, I don't know if they just didn't get my distribution in the New England area, but just a month later, here it is. It's the Crusaders, #1. Now, one thing that's interesting about this is that this is definitely an earlier printing. First of all, it's got the 39-cent price point on it, but also the back cover ads only have issue 2 on it. Now, you could kind of tell on the other ones that I have, you could kind of tell when they were printed by which ones were advertised. So in that way, they're kind of like the classic illustrated, where you can check like the numbers on the back that they're advertising. I haven't had a chance to read this yet, but if it's as crazy as the other 4 issues I got, then buckle in because it's absolutely nuts. Now, this was actually in a pile of religious comics that I found in there. So I got several more, but not from Crusaders. I'm slowly trying to put together a set of all the Spire comics, and I have quite a few of them at this point, but they had some here that I didn't have. So first of all, we have Crossfire. Now, I've seen the ads for Crossfire, but some of these even on the ads, I guess I just didn't notice them, but some of these I had not seen before. Here's In the Presence of Mine Enemies, which is interesting. It's a Vietnam War story, so I'll definitely have to check that out, as I have an interest in Vietnam War comics. Never seen this one before. And then finally, I haven't seen this one before either. This one has a little bit of water damage, but since I hadn't seen it before, I decided to buy it. And at some point, if I find another one, I'll upgrade and get rid of this one. But it's Tom Skinner, Up from Harlem. Now, I wanted to mention, one of the things I did have to watch out for here is a lot of the books in the 50-cent bins and the dollar bins were water damaged. Quite a few of them. It looked to me like at some point he'd gotten a collection of books that got water damaged, so And as he was going through that collection, he took all the water damage ones and put them in the cheap bins. So it wasn't like, here's a long box, everything's water damaged. It was like, here's a long box, and here's a clump of issues that are fine. Here's a clump that's issues of water damage. Here's one that's fine, etc. like that. All old damage, but I'll talk a little bit about more of this in a minute. But I have to be careful with anything that could be musty or moldy or anything like that. So those are the books from the 50-cent bin. So I was very excited for that. But look at the cool stuff I got out of the dollar bin. You're gonna be excited to see these. Check this out. Don't know what the numbers of these are. I can check on the inside. This is Boris Karloff, some gold key books. Boris Karloff number 4. Some of them have numbers on the back, actually. See, it's the same, but without the trade dress. Boris Karloff number 4. Oh, that one doesn't have a number on it. Let's see. Boris Karloff number 13. And Boris Karloff number 6. So 4, 6, and 13. Now, these are not things I normally get, but for $1 each, they're so cool. I love the painted covers. I'll probably pass these on to someone. There's a couple people I know that collect this sort of thing. I'll see if they need these issues, and if not, it might be the sort of thing that you might see in a future mystery box when I give stuff away. Similarly, there's a couple other things that I do collect, but for $1 each, I had to pick them up. I already have a copy of this, but this may actually be nicer than the one I have. 12-cent Archies. Look at this. Archie 162. Betty and Veronica 126. And Pep Comics 172. Now, I don't collect Betty and Veronica, and I don't collect Pep anymore, although I did for a while. But these are just nice, solid, 12-cent. Yeah, they're not high grade, but they're decent mid-grade books. 12-cent, from 66. So just really cool to get these in the dollar bin. Great stuff. Again, I'll see if I upgrade the Archie. I'll probably pass that along. Betty and Veronica, I don't know. We'll see. I might give those out. I don't know what I'll do with them. House of Mystery 277 with a classic Ditko cover. There's a couple other issues of House of Mystery that I passed over that don't really collect a lot of the horror stuff. I only kind of collect the covers that I like with horror because I don't like reading horror stories. But this is sort of a classic late era Ditko cover that has always grabbed me. So this is what I was happy to get. And the last dollar bin purchase, this is missing, as you'll see in a second, it's Blitzkrieg number 4. So this is the somewhat controversial Joe Kubert war series that's from the point of view of the Germans. Now, it's missing up here at the top. The top's cut off. So that tells me that this must have been one of the bicentennial issues, because if you cut off the bicentennial banner on all of the bicentennial issues from 1976, the month where they had all the banners, if you cut them all off and mailed them in, they would send you, I believe, a Superman belt buckle. I've never actually come across one of these that had that cut off. And if you don't look close, it'll just look like a brown stripe at the top of the cover. But no, this has been sort of cut off. So again, might pass this along. It's a really cool book. There's definitely people out there looking for Blitzkrieg. It's not quite as easy to find as the other war issues. And then finally, speaking of something that's not that easy to find, lower grade, pretty low grade, pretty rough, but he sold this to me for just $5. So get excited. Similar to where I'm trying to put together the full set of all the Spires, I'm also trying to put together a full set of the Atlas ones. And this is one of the hardest ones to get. So for $5, I was over the moon to get Vicky number 1 for $5. So yeah, really thrilled with this. And that's the kind of deals you can get there. Again, I really wish you'd been able to find the romance books, especially once he told me it was $5 for the Vicky. I was like, show me the romance. But you know, he couldn't find it, but it's fine. Again, great guy. We talked a lot about his support of indie and local self-published comic creators and stuff like that. I'm going to be sending him an email. He says he's going to look for the romance books for me, so maybe that'll still pan out. But you know, he emphasized that he's all about reading the comics. So he keeps everything kind of low, reasonable prices so the readers can get the stuff, and that's why everything's so cheap. The 50-cent bins, the dollar bins. Great story. Got to check it out. Really one of the top stores I've been to, so I absolutely loved it. I do want to mention just real quick, because I always try to be thorough in my reviews, it's very musty in the store, and for most people that won't matter at all, but I wanted to mention it because longtime viewers will know that a couple years ago, we had some mold in the house. I've developed a serious mold allergy to the point where I've had to actually sell off a lot of my comics because they're too musty. Anything with any kind of mustiness can bother me pretty fast. I'm happy to report that's mostly calmed down. I can at least now be in my office. There was a period of almost a year where I couldn't spend more than 15 or 20 minutes in here because of the mustiness. It's calmed down, and it's been helped by me getting rid of some of the stuff. But anyway, we were in the store for about 20-25 minutes, and it took a couple hours after we left for my breathing to calm down a little bit from the mustiness. Again, this will not affect most people, but if you are sensitive to mustiness, just know it's very musty in there. And I don't really think it's the comic so much. We were actually in another place down the same strip of like stores that was also musty. The whole set of building like storefronts, they're all right along the river, and I think that the whole set of buildings there's just the buildings musty. But just wanted to mention that. Still awesome store. If definitely worth the stop. It's only a 5 minutes off of Interstate 80, so 84, I should say. So if you're passing through, as a lot of people do, going across New York into Pennsylvania there on 84, definitely worth it. Stop off. It's Haven for Heroes in Port Jervis. Let me know what you think down below. This is a great haul. I paid $15 for all the books I showed you, for all of that great stuff, all that great Silver Age stuff and hard to find stuff. Just $15 for the whole pile. So awesome place to get cool back issues. So let me know what you think down below of the haul that I just got, and I'll see you next time.